Last train for the wasteland. Coming to you. Remember, recover, return, May 2nd, 3:33 a.m. in the name of Maria Lucifera Orsic. Siggy Jim and I, twin Maria. May the Maja be with us. And we greet her as Queen of our hearts. In the name of Allah, Jah, we say, fuck Israel, free Palestine, free Palestine. And to every warrior who stands up for those who have no protection will be rewarded by the warrior of warriors, the great Lucifer, the great Mithra, the great Allah, the great Jaja, the great Lulu, because Lu is very thorough. Like he said to me earlier, it's all happening right now. That's why this simulation is so powerful, because it doesn't matter if it's a simulation or not to you. It's what matters to you. And if it is a important moment, if we are together, if we are touching from a distance, then it will be okay. We are one. And this moment is as important as all moments, because time is art. And I don't want to sound like I'm speaking with some fake confidence, and I'm not trying to be fancy, but really, time is art, and it's happening right now if you want it to. And I don't blame you if something so traumatic has happened that you ran away from this reality and you're hearing me from afar. That's fine too. Because we're all one here together. We're all one here together against our one enemy. And who is that, Joseph? Well, speaking for Maria, it's everyone who would use authentically from their heart, use force or fraud to get what they want. Mental violence or physical violence is frowned upon forevermore. And that goes on all levels, psychic levels, people who are trying to invade people's thoughts, or, all the stupidity that you see. Who would, you see these, psychic love spell things. Who would ever want someone who you had to trick into loving you? Who would want someone who doesn't love you out of pure essence, vibrational match, not anything else, period? All the things that could be listed, right? Like she said, Maria said, and give thanks to the people who gave us this. And we mean that sincerely. But we have been conscious on Venus for so long without dying that it's caused an entirely new life that you can't remember. Matter of fact, she said there is no thoughts of war or violence or anything else. Maria once pointed out to me that a truly Venusian soul has the most beautiful assumption in her. You know, one of the 10 Commandments is do not make any assumptions. Serious. But like Maria, and only Maria can point out, she's like, Joe, look at this beautiful assumption. And it was all locked in a moment. And it was the assumption that the new kid would be taken care of, taught, and loved. And it reminded me, of, we're going to give a shout out to the S-Dog, to the Inspirer. My friend Scotty could probably do this better than me. But he left for another plane of existence. But I specifically do remember this was 3rd grade. 3rd grade, me and him had the same teacher, Mrs. Foster. And we had known each other since 1st grade, so we were like old friends. And like, I guess when you're in 3rd grade, you're what, 6, 7, 8? You're 8, 7 or 8. Me and my friend were always one of the youngest people in our grades. I was born in late July. He was born in early September. He was literally born the day of the cutoff. So, the stars in the simulated universe controlled by God, which is you over you, each individual over each individual, programmed those stars. It's not impersonal energy that's deciding your fate. It's you from a higher, a different dimension, to use, the words, I guess, describe what's happening. It's a wild thing. I still don't understand it, even though I'm seeing it, seeing the whole picture of the true self, doing all this to teach me exactly like, aside from Maria, like no one I know personally, besides maybe my dear sister, knows how much I've learned, how far I've come. And someone might rightly say, in your own mind, because no one cares, because all they care about is money and what you and how you can make their life easier. They don't love Art Joseph. They don't love love. Their love has died with their nation state, and now their land, the actual dirt, the land, the plants, the trees, the animals on the land, mourn because hope has been lost. And thank you to the Trump, people for being so fucking stupid that you crushed the last bit of hope into dust. The very, very, very least you could have done is side with the small guy against the bully. But of course, you are the bully. You're the prick. You're the cheat. You're the thief in a suit. You're the ugly, disgusting, modern, materialist spirit. So, fuck off, suck a dick forever. You turned on my grandchildren, you're going to pay. Who are you talking about? Talking about all mainstream people who support the Democrats and Republicans. Never in my 55 years have I ever even been close to a chance to have some other party even. It's always been Republicans, Democrats. It's always been Bush, Clinton. It's still Bush and Clinton. It's the same exact robots, the same exact Israel-loving zombies. Left and right, Israel-loving zombies. And the bad guys are supposed to be the people in tents getting hit by fire bombs from the sky. You want me to agree that you're good? That would be condemning my soul. That would be not a moon worshiper, a money worshiper, right? A moon worshiper, right? A monkey, because money's your key. Money's your key, right? You're like, give me that computer. Give me that computer. I gotta make money. I'm gonna type numbers into a fucking algorithm. And check it out. I just made money off of people. I'm fucking genius. This is the spirit that has actually come up against trees, rivers, clouds, the moon, the stars, the earth, the oxygen. These people are blowing poison into our lungs. These people suck. And I promise I'm not going to waste your time complaining anymore. We're going straight on to something. Right? And I just want to say greetings to everyone who is listening. And I want to say, every single time, my work as Maria's spokesman is for Gigi, Lena, and Taylor. I love you. And this is the result of the price. The price I had to pay. And give thanks to the beautiful mother. And I want to say I've never erased a comment or deleted a comment, from the very get-go. YouTube has been just blatantly in my face, strange, weird. As I said, The very first comment I ever left, as I hit comment, a line crossed out like the main part of the comment. I had people go on their phone, go on their computer, like, dude, that's so weird. Never seen that. I've never seen that in any video anywhere in the whole goddamn fucking world. I've never seen YouTube censor a comment with a line through half the comment part, the main, the main part that was learned from Maria Orsic. And it's not every single comment I've ever left. It's, I think for sure it's been 3 times that the Marilyn Monroe, the Maria Orsic, and the very first comment I ever left was about the coming lockdown, because Maria totally, completely explained to me everything that happened and was going to happen with COVID and everything else. Let me just tell that story. So, in February 2020, me and my wife and our bestie best, Mindy Mind Y. We were planning to, we had tickets to go see Soul Asylum play in somewhere, Nashville, Memphis or something. And the ritual before, I was, and the reason why I remember that is I was telling Mindy about the ritual before we were in the hotel to go see Soul Asylum. I was telling her exactly this, because I can see us sitting on the bed in the hotel after the concert, and I was telling her, you won't believe what happened in our ritual last week. I said I was dancing around with Maria and joking around. We used to really joke and just not because the suffering was less, but because everything has its time and its season. So in the furthest from my mood, out of my telepathic mouth came, hey lady, what's the next 9/11? I said, you're the queen of the Matrix. I said, my lady of the Matrix. Our Lady of the Matrix. Maria, Our Lady of the Matrix. What I just came out of my mouth. What's the next 9/11? I said, it wasn't me. I guess, who knows? It was, honestly, it was either her putting the thoughts in my mind, she's great at that, or it was my true self saying, you know what, buddy? Party's over. It's time to get to work. Because that is a cycle. And I said, I know it's a fact that they're planning the next one, and it's probably going to be bigger and kill more people. She said, oh yeah, it is. It's already started. I go, what? I go, hold it. I stopped dancing and I go, hold it. I said the next 9/11. She said, I know. That's why that's why this is coming up, Joe. And I guarantee you this, I think the concert was like February 26th or something. So say this was like February 21st. So it was a month before the lockdown. Like, people don't believe me about, she can tell me what's going to happen in the major events of the matrix of our world. She can tell me as much as she's allowed to, because she knows so well that the technology forces the major events of history into process so that the end will end where it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, at the hands of who is really doing it, and they're going to be completely exposed, and the day everyone longs for. When are the fucking garbage of this world going to be exposed? I like that word. When is this stinking crawly anity garbage going to be exposed? When? And I know people are like, yeah, that's how crazy you are. But I'm going to tell you and tell you again. In the golden dawn of nuclear fire and destruction, Maria Orsic and the avatar of World War II, Sigrun, Lucifer, and Diana Danu will be also, they will also reveal themselves to the whole world. And you say, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is the UFOs that appeared in the first time reality to the children at Fatima, those were already the UFOs of Lucifer, and they were being projected from another realm for those children, for it to be in their vibration, to project what was going to happen when you see Maria Orsic and her purple, gray, and black UFO with the multicolors going around. When you see them return like they did that day, because it's all about faith in Ma, which is, okay, let's stop the world. And for those of you who have been with me, pardon me for repeating, but once and for all, let's take the word faith back. It comes from what we would know as Sigrun, and the story of Sigrun. And like Maria said, do you get it? Maria's story is Sig and Maria's story. It's from their point of view, it's their story. The story of Maria Orsic's life is the story of two girls becoming one powerful being that changed everything, the history, the world, the reality, the gods, the nature of God. See, Maria Orsic proved it all. Proved. Absolutely, physically, mathematically, physics, every way, shape, and form. She proved God, as they were telling you, doesn't exist. And she's like, you can't come follow me. Don't you dare put my name on anything, I will punish you. Don't think that she's that nice, that she will let people, she'll let you run around in the goddamn illusion, blaspheming her name, but you won't get away with it on the other planes of existence where it matters. Like she said, you're welcomed to condemn yourself. That you're nothing but a hoax. You're a hoax because you're not willing to pay the price. What price is that? Whatever it takes. Whatever your teacher, your guides, your true self, whatever it takes. And in Maria Orsic's world, it takes you nailing yourself to the cross of astrology, which is the true self, right? What are you trying to be? I'm trying to be like you, the true self. And the true self is like the actual only way, sorry. The true self says to the avatar on another plane, I'm sorry, but the only way for this to end is for me to nail you on that cross. And you're like, why? And it's like, because you love this person. You love that person. And you're like, what does that have to do with it? And they're like, this is an evil world, the only evil world. And you chose, before you came here, to absorb the bad energy because you knew it would kill them. And it would kill them so fast, it would wipe their minds out. It's so toxic for our people. The atmosphere of the Talmudic world is absolute poison for us. You know, to hear people say you can kill people, you can cheat people, you can steal people, hurts our souls. It hurts our energy field. It hurts our psyche. It hurts our abilities, everything. And like someone in another dimension rightly said to me, you mean I came here? You mean I paid to be tortured with this world? And the person was saying to me, the more money I made, the more success I had, the more I was tortured inside till it killed me. And that was my whole story. My whole story was like a vapor, here and gone in a moment, trying to have the things that they tell you are essential and will make you happy. Right? And let's give thanks to the mushroom, the holy mushroom, the truly otherworldly thing, whom, you know, my life and story is Anne Maria, Anne Lou, Anne Shiva, Anne Pavarti, and all of us together. We are the mushroom. That's how deep the thanks goes. It goes to an absolute realization of there was no other way. But back to Maria in the hotel room at the Soul Asylum concert. I said to Mindy, I was dancing around and she put it in my mind or something. And I said, what's the next 9/11? She said, you're in it. It's already started. I said, what? And the word, literally, I remember this photographically. Literally, the word, VIRIU, virus, came into my fucking mind. And the whole like magical context of the word, like 5 iris, you know, the magical eye is looking at you. And I gasped and I went, the fucking China virus thing? Because they've pulled a cry wolf like 10 times, you know, the pig virus, the flu, the bird virus, the this virus, the that. It's coming, the monkey virus. It's all coming to get us, right? They cried wolf so that we would stand down, and then they were like, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, you're saying this thing's not going away, that they're going to use. And she's like, what I'm saying is all those years I kept insisting to you that viruses were real. They're technology, they're nanotechnology, and they're going to be used to kill so many people, control the world, control your mind, eat your brain, cause people to go completely insane, the most chaos, the craziest anarchy and chaos that you've ever, more than your fucking mind will ever understand. Okay, let's go for it. This is what's going to happen in America. There's going to be like 100 terrorist attacks in a moment. In 100 cities. There'll be masked, quote, jihadis, quote, because it's really Western intelligence, will break into schools and murder children, take over buildings and murder everyone, bomb buildings, run planes into buildings. It will be, like she said, 100 911's in one day. This is what she said is going to come after the China virus. Because for 13 years, she'd been telling me about viruses. And I'm sure I documented this in my talks. I asked her, why have I been so sick? The third or fourth ritual. I was like, I have barely lived. I am so sick. No one ever can figure out what's wrong with me. And she's like, I know what's wrong with you. Viruses. And she's like, some of them came from your wives. Some of them came, and she's like, that's why you can't mix your magical energy. You can't, like she was like, let's not talk fancy. You cannot have sex with other people outside of your eternal true love. You just can't do it. I mean, there's no rules. Do whatever you want. But for people like us, it just results in a nightmare. A nightmarish fog of energy where it takes a long... It's called a virus. And it's not natural. It's technology. And it's actually playing off your thoughts. Right? It's like a tiny, tiny microscopic computer. It gets in your blood and in your whole system. And what does it do? It sends out radio waves to make you sick, to make you depressed, make you addicted, right? To make you all these things. If there's a better way to live, I gotta have it. So, on that night in mid-February 2020, in my book and in Maria's book, that's when everything changed. And it's almost like not almost, it is exact dates. And I think this is to show us that we're in a simulation, like they can sort of adjust the clocks as a hint. but almost, exactly 4 years. Not almost, exactly 4 years to the day, 4/20, 2020 to 4/20, 2024, the day of Taurus alignment, the bull, the Mithras, the bull slayed by the hero, Mithra, Mira. Who's Ra? You're Ra over you. Inside, you're the sun, and everything is going around you. That's the real prophecy that matters. But if you're interested in the simulated freak show called Christianity, it is going to be and decreed and ordained and predestined through Aldebaran technology that the Christians become responsible for ending the entire world. Because, as I said, COVID was the beginning of the attack on the entire world to weaken and soften, especially America and Europe. Weaken and soften any resistance to the spectacular Hollywood show that's about to begin, which will be 100 terrorist attacks in a moment. And they're going to say this, they're going to announce as official government policy that the United States government is fighting a war for the survival of civilization because these towelhead freaks are trying to take over the whole world and turn us back to the 8th century, which probably would be a lot better. I mean, yeah, this is working great, isn't it? How is it working for you? You like TikTok? You like staring at a little phone? You like your life being consumed by, something not real, far away, and it's no more than sitcom TV. For like most people don't use it for a learning tool. Most people don't use it to find real people to live real life experiences with. They just zombie. It's just, and it would be a lot healthier. And I'm not condemning anyone or judging anyone. It would be a lot healthier. And some people are very honest about it. Say, this is how I zombie out. And I don't want to, but I work all day, and this is how I zombie out. And I'm just saying, we have to raise our standards, or we'll never be happy. You must raise it to the level what? You need some practical help like I did. And Maria was like how I did it, and if you're like me, this will work because, Joe, I had nothing else to do but figure out what was the best lifestyle for me to produce the most VRIL magic, right? She's like, I know. She's like, let me tell you, you do it already, but no one encourages you around. As a matter of fact, they try to stop you from doing it because they're weak. And she's like, ritualize everything. Everything's a ritual. It can be. She's like, just like you basically have a ritual for going to work. She's like, you need to ritualize everything. She's like, how about you ritualize your sleep? You ritualize your time for nature. Literally make it a ritual. Commit to it. I'm going to go to the river, whatever. You can make any kind of agreements with yourself, but the best thing for our type of people, and this is the reason I almost got lost in my own thoughts, but this is the reason. You want to ritualize everything so that your muscle memory, your psychic memory, all can settle down into these scheduled routines. And the whole point is to give your unconscious the room to dance, the room to express itself. And the more you ritualize everything, the more the people around you who don't want you to will get pissed. But the more you ritualize things, the more your magic, your VRIL energy, your experience of synchronicities and instantaneous knowledge and understanding of like, hey, I understand this moment. And that will all increase, right? And we're saying all this so that we can all come together before these things happen. And especially ritualize Maria's ritual. Even if you do a half a gram of whatever legal plants you want to use, mushrooms, even if you take tiny amounts, if you will ritualize it, and that will give the people on the other side of reality, the other side of the mirror, an opportunity to know when they can contact you, when they have a much better chance than meeting you in a dream which you blow off and can't remember all the time, every day, commonly. They're like, yeah, that's pretty hopeless. He never remembers his dreams anyway. He only remembers the ones that blonde lady gives him, the really powerful ones. And that's practical advice. And for the student, it's not advice. It is, you do this or you show me you're not serious. And I would stay around even knowing you're not serious just to hang out, but I don't have time to fuck around. That was her attitude towards me. Like, I missed a ritual in the first couple months. I missed one. And that was kind of her attitude of like, you don't think this is real? I'm not fucking around. Like, you do that again, you show me that you don't think this is real and you don't, then I'm not coming back. I was like, damn. Whoa. Hey, it was all being introduced to me. No, I had no real model to follow or no mentor, She was the only mentor and mentors I had were books of people and videos of people, talks of people. I was, becoming aware, but I had no one in real life that was testifying to these things. And let's take a big, long, deep VRIL breath together. And this is what's going to happen in America. 100 terrorist attacks in a moment. They're going to blame it on Islam. The government is going to have an official policy that we are at war with a whole civilization, the entire civilization of Islam. And, we're going to try to do what Israel did to Gaza, to the whole Islamic world. But of course, they're not going to put up with it. And they know that the psycho clowns that are in control of our Zionist Christian left behind TV evangelist, makeup face, Joel Osteen. You might as well, hey, Trump people, you might as well get your gun and get your stupid equipment, your fucking badass shit, and go die for Joel Osteen to become rich. That's all you're doing. That is all you're doing. You're that fucking stupid. That's what you call a patriot? Because you don't read George Washington. You don't read Thomas Jefferson. They weren't stupid meatheads. They weren't stupid fucking retards that are living a gym lifestyle, trying to show off for people at the gym. You literally walk around in life in a workout gym in your mind. Be well, I'm trying to be healthy. Dude, you're retarded though. That's not healthy. You're not healthy. You're retarded. You're brain damaged. And, no disrespect to people who have been abused and harmed by the chemical warfare of your very own government. You dumb meathead. You're the one paid for your government to make children autistic, Downs, and all the things they do to children. You are the pussy that would never stand up to it. You're not the person that got marijuana legalized, a plant. Oh, we're so free in America. We can have a plant. Hey, our government lets us have a plant sometimes. I mean, in certain states. But, I mean, if you go from one state to the other, they'll put you in a fucking prison. And which states are those? The most Christian, Zionist ones. I wonder why. Oh, because they like the black market of making money. Especially after those private prisons, right? President Ronald McDonald, clown face, insane clown face. If you look at Trump, he has an insane clown face painted on his face. Let me say that again. If the scales fall from your eyes tonight, and the next time you see Donald Trump in HD, you will see he has painted on very lightly, but at certain light angles of the light, you can really, really see it. It is a evil clown face. A evil clown, like the eyes wide open, insanely bugging out eyes, and the frown. It's not a crazy smile. It's a crazy frown. It's a insane eyes and a crazy frown. I mean, the motherfucker is just the most clownish high school bully with a script in his hand, hired by rich bankers. And let me tell you what's really going on. This clown, he's like 6'2" or whatever. He's hired by 5'2" little Jewish bankers. Because they're like, we need a tall blonde guy or a tall clown guy. They're like, his hair's not real. He's like, well, whatever, clown. We need a clown. He's the best clown we got. They're like, you remember that clown face he used to have on The Apprentice? There's like a makeup-y clown. He would be perfect. I mean, he's the apprentice of this reality show called The Process Church Final Judgment of Yahweh, the judgment of the Father on the Son. That's what actually is going on. Your myth is being played out in your town, your city, your state, your country. And the judgment is coming on your family, your town, your state, your country. And the judgment is the judgment of a fictional Darth Vader character called Yahweh, whose scales are balanced with murder those people's children and I will murder my son. Right? That's his scales. That's what you're agreeing to. People are like, man, you're hard on Christians, man. Fuck you. Fuck your church. You're a waste of time. You're a stupid book. You suck. You're boring. You're ugly. You're disgusting. You have no style, no individualism. You suck. You suck the cock of money. You're a Christian because you fit in. You're a Mormon because you fit in. And you're just afraid to be nonconformist. And you want to be successful. And you're like, the road to success is Mormonism or Jehovah's Witness or Baptist or Charismatic Pentecostal. Lord have mercy. I mean, we're wild church up here. We play music and stuff, and we still worship the blood spilled all over in the Father cutting off the fucking head of the Son and the fucking human sacrifice of the Passover. We're like, praise Jesus for all this blood and guts and death. No, not me. Because that's B-grade horror movies. It's boring. It's stupid. Yeah, the girl's a babysitter and the psycho in a mask is going to kill her and rape her. How many times? Why do you like that? What's wrong with you? What problem do you have that makes you love your enemy? You like people who hurt children? What is wrong with you? That's not normal. That is like, I grew up in a lower middle class, poor area. And I'm going to get back to the work of Scotty Dog and how it relates to all this. You know, the world changed. And some people are like this, you know, somehow let these points of light, you know, flow together. How the world changed and we're at a different place, and that's why our country's about to be attacked. Every power station, they're going to have a blackout. They're going to try to scare the fuck out of you. They're going to make the internet go down. They're going to make you think you might starve without them. And they're going to laugh from Tel Aviv at you. And they're going to say, good thing we had all that biometric tracking and banking and stuff ready, because we can put a chip right in your fucking brain. Right, Elon Musk? Right, Elon Musk? Oh, he's actually the Christ of the Masons. Yeah, those dick-sucking old men, those boring dick-sucking Christians that wear those funny hats and shit, wear aprons with nothing underneath it, because they're all a bunch of hypocrite fucking. And I'm all for everyone who's authentic, but a creepy, weird old man who touches children, that's who Elon Musk is. That's who Elon Musk really is. That under that plastic surgery and shit is something that looks like Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. He's like 70-something years old, 80 years old, touching children and fucking. That is a literal cockroach walking around in a man's body. And I mean, you should laugh and walk away from everyone that respects him, because they're just saying right into your face, what I respect is money and all the things that money can buy. And, you know, I could be cool like him, and then fucking dorky girls would like me because of my money. And as Maria said, it's not that hard to reject. I mean, really, that's what you want? That's what you want to be a part of? That's what you are part of. Your husband or your wife or whatever married you because you're part of a puzzle that had to be put together called success. It has nothing to do with true love. You probably don't even know each other. One of you might not even be plugged in to the Matrix. And you're literally married to an AI projection of DNA. I'm like, well, it's close enough. For you. I don't give a fucking what dream or what reality I am in. I want to be talking to people, not fucking robots. So, Elon Musk, suck it. And well, the good news, right? Once America was like this. And this is in the land of Spanish Lake, where Santa Maria, who visited Spanish Pond on Spanish Pond Road, right up from the confluence of the Missouri and Mississippi River, which nothing, as we were kids, nothing marked that spot whatsoever. That's a reflection of your fucking spirituality, that you had no value for the two greatest rivers meeting and the beauty of it all. I mean, just the straight beauty of it. No one would, there was no way to get down. There was cornfields and no way to get down there. You had to walk through cornfields. And we did it because my friend lived like 200 yards down the bluff from the confluence. We would walk there once a week, twice a week, and every other day in the summer. We had a little boat we started to put out on the river because the river is super duper incredibly magical. Every time I walk down there, I live right now by the Missouri River. Like, literally, I could walk, I guess it takes 1 minute to walk to the top of like 2 houses up, and I can see the river. And I have a park, that's 2 houses the other way, like 2 houses up, 2 houses to the right, or 3 or 4 houses to the right. And there's the park with a trail, a paved trail going all the way down to the river. And like now we're starting to celebrate the river. But back then there was no celebration. And but before I lose all my stories, there's been many straight up and people with me weird things, unexplainable things. Like the day my friend Matt, who was tortured and kidnapped by these cultist rapists, was telling me a story. And while he was telling me a story, a girl with blonde hair, longest blonde hair in 2 braids, her hair was like parted in the middle and 2 like braids going down the front of her chest, all the way down to like, almost to her waist. Totally, completely dressed exactly like a doll with the same blonde hair, and she's just holding the doll in front of her as she walked in front of us and smiled really big. And her like boyfriend or whatever was with her like kind of smiled and nodded at us like, you're supposed to see this. She was exactly like the doll and just incredibly beautiful. Incredibly Maria-ish, And like Maria said, how do you know it wasn't me? And also, one time I was with some people, and I seen the hawk, and I was telling them the whole story about how I had to. I'm not kidding. I never really told the whole story, but I had like 20 experiences with this hawk. Just the most incredible weird shit. Like I said, like the exact same thing repeating 2 days. Exactly. The same sounds. The same. It was just made me think, man, maybe I am crazy. But it was explained by the goddess to me how this can happen. We're in technology. And I'm telling them, I see the hawk, and I go, I know it sounds crazy, but I work across the river. Seems far away, but it's not that far for a hawk. And my friend was like, it does sound crazy, that you could develop a relationship with this hawk. Like I told him, I said, man, I'm doing my mushroom ritual. I met with the hawk on another level, and I said to him, if this is really real, please leave me one of your feathers, and leave it somewhere where I'll know it was you. I said, I ain't bullshitting. Like the next week while I was working, I pulled up, and it's very important in this context, to the only business that I had on my route. All the others were just regular houses, but one business. So the last place you would think you would find a hawk feather is in the business parking lot. And I pulled up, and their whole setup is in a weird way where I have to take the package in the building. So when I got out with the package, the only place that I would have looked on the ground as I was getting the package out of the truck was a feather sitting right in my sight. A beautiful, beautiful hawk feather, exactly the color that he was. Even me and him joking, and him saying, I did a joke. He landed on a real low branch and walked on it and was like, it looked like he was dancing on it, and fell off onto the ground, flopped onto the ground. And he told me later, people like, you talk to birds? He told me later that he was my friend switching bodies with this hawk, and he was trying to make me laugh, and that he couldn't think, that was one of the only ways he could think of, how can a hawk make a man laugh? I was like, I was laughing in the ritual. I go, it was like America's home videos. It was truly funny. It was like one of those videos, like you slipped and fell, and it was a funny fall. He was like, exactly, you got it. And that person actually was Lucifer, if you want to know. And back to Scotty, back to the world of 1979, right? Or let me speak to my grandchildren, to other young people. Was the world different back then? There was evil people, but let me tell you, the atmosphere was like this, was different like this. And I'm sure, this may not mean much to people today who condemn racism and are, accept everyone. But in 1979, things were still quite Christian and quite controlled, and this happened. We, in third grade, me and my friend, there was a new kid from Kentucky, and he was talking very Kentucky-ish and very country, and kids were making fun of him. And we were sitting there at lunch, and Scotty said to me, man, dude, we have to help the new kid. I mean, he looks bummed, that he can't stop. How's he going to stop talking like that? He can't. We were sympathizing with him, like, dude, he can't help how he talks. So we befriended him at lunch, and he became one of our friends. And we thought he was a funny dude. He was very humorous. He was always, from the very beginning, making these jokes and shit. And we're like, we like how you talk. And so there was one black kid in our whole school that we knew since kindergarten. He was in my kindergarten class. And I remember going home and telling my mom, there's a black boy in our class. Not because I was taught to reject that. I was saying it because I thought it was interesting. Because my mom didn't have any. Well, she did have a black friend, but they weren't real close. But she would come over to our house once in a while, and they were our neighbors. And they were our only black neighbors. The dude was good friends with my dad. Funny. Because my dad was a, country boy who was raised to be racist, He was raised to think that black people were dumb and lazy and, so dumb of other slaves to be judging other slaves. It's like competing over who was tortured and tormented and traumatized the most. Hey, man, you weren't traumatized as much as we, and never turning the guns on the actual oppressors that oppress both of you. It's so ridiculous, so stupid. It's so fucking dumb. It's just dumb. People who hate each other for no reason, it's just dumb. You're stupid. You hate Muslims for no reason. Oh, they did 9/11. They did not. They did not. The 100 terrorist attacks in one moment, and let me say this right now, right here, right now. When you, and I've already said this several times because this is a fact, when you see a nuke, a dirty nuke, a suitcase nuke, or whatever nuclear thing you see happen in America, know that they, Crowleyites, did it. Just like they killed JFK. They killed Martin Luther King. They killed Haile Selassie. And in the end, they call it the Samson option. Look that up. Let's talk about some facts about the Golden Dawn, the nuclear Golden Dawn over America. I guess it's a coincidence that Aleister Crowley was living in Palestine in 1947, creating the very first settlements to steal Palestinian land, funded by Rothschild, the famous Illuminati controller, right? This is all a coincidence, right, Trump people? And that fake British state became Israel. And they murdered and slaughtered and killed until this day. And it's all funded by the banks. And it was all powered by the spirituality of the true Jewish Messiah, the 666 beast, Aleister Crowley. See, I'm blessed because I know the truth, and I give him the respect for ruling your fucking minds, you dumb-ass idiots. You're going to cause all of us to suffer. We could have stopped it, Trump people. You hate the purple-haired lesbians and gays and shit. They're better moral people than you because you had the power to stop it. You had the money to stop it. We're poor. We're poor out here. The only thing we could afford is purple dye for our hair. So suck a fucking dick. You had the power, and believe me, I'm not supporting any left-wing people that worship and love the government. You're just as stupid as the Trump people. Let me tell you, Democrats with the purple hair, you suck the cock of Donald Trump. You do exactly what he wants you to do. I hate you and the Trump people equally. You both love the government and trust in that phantom power because you want it. You want the power to use it against your petty personal enemies because you're a nation of petty little wimpy fucking pussies that just cry wolf, non-stop cry wolf, while other people truly suffer. Other people starve, you fat fucks. People like, oh man, you pick on fat people. Hey dude, other people, and dude, no, true sympathy to people who have addictions and are struggling with addiction. I understand that. But to these just gluttonous fucking freaks that have no shame, and they're mostly on the right, but both of them, all of them. Okay, let me back up and let me do it. The judgment on your family will be according to how well they knew the essence power of why the true leader of the family. And that can be even just two. Is it just a married couple in America? I'm talking specifically to right now. In Maria's name, we are speaking specifically to the individual family in America. It's over. If you don't recognize the power in your family and are led, you're going to die in a nuclear winter, a nuclear radiation cancer, turbo cancer tumor. And they're going to try to blame it all on the Muslims, and they're going to try to say Elon Musk Neuralink brain chip is the only hope for curing these fast-acting tumors that are killing children, and they're going to try to save the children with their technology. And Elon Musk is a hero. I mean, look at how much he loves Israel, and look at how much he hates the Palestinians. He's a good person. He hates the Muslims. He's so pro-Israel. I mean, he might even be the Messiah. He might be the second Messiah. There's two Messiahs. Do you know that? In your Kabbalah, in your Talmud, it says there's two Messiahs. And the people who run the world, the processed church, they're not real Jews. They're Kabbalah Jews. They're Kabbalistic Jews. And they believe in the two Messiahs because this is their script. And the two Messiahs will be Batman and the Joker. It's that fucking dumbed down and uncreative. Right? It's as creative, as articulate as Elon Musk is, like a robot. I mean, you're talking about the boringest cunt running the entire world. And his answer will be to everything is the AI is programmed. It can't be unfair. It can't be unjust. Purple hair, left-wing people, I am giving you justice. The algorithm is coded to justice. I guarantee you, take the chip and you won't have to work anymore. It could be like the rest of Tel Aviv and Israel, right? Totally controlled. I mean, don't get the COVID vaccine, get the brain chip. I mean, who wants to mess around with the vaccine? Just get the chip. I mean, the chip can do everything that the mRNA can do. You know, just ask Grimes. I mean, Grimes would know. Grimes should get a hold of us. Grimes should come under the power of Maria Orsic's protection, and Grimes should join up and do a ritual with me if she wants to know the truth. But she's probably not real. For real. Grimes. It sounds funny. Sorry. Probably isn't real. You know? And the judgment is coming on your family, right? Because of the mere mathematical equation of cause and effect, and the same reason that Palestinian children got hit by flying shrapnel that would lit them on fire and burnt them alive, and they had to sit there for 2 or 3 minutes with their flesh on fire and watching their parents and their siblings and their older sister and their older brother fucking be blown apart and their bodies on fire and them screaming. That's coming to you because you agreed as a nation. We trust in God and His law, the God that you're talking about. Absolutely, without any doubt, His law is an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And I say that in the name of Maria Orsic, in the name of Lucifer. He's the God of this world that will be extracted. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You didn't care. You didn't try. So I don't expect anyone to care or try about the most important thing ever. If your greatest fear was one of your children dying, then you're condemned for not fearing and feeling the same thing for an Islamic mother. It's just religion. Most Muslims practice it as much as most Catholics, most Irish drunk Irish Catholic people we know. It's not really all. It's not. You're being lied to. You've always been lied to. When have they told you the truth? I used to ask people, for 20 years, you trust the government? Every Democrat, every Republican I ever met said no. And I said, well, why not? No, they lie. I said, okay, what did they lie about specifically? Well, they lie about wars. Well, which wars? Vietnam. And they lie about this. They lie about that. They lie. And I say, but you're still a Republican. Yeah, I voted for Bush. I'm still a Democrat. Yeah, I voted for Obama. And you can't win. In this country, you can't win because the people aren't smart enough to understand the complexity of the attack upon their minds and their emotions and their unconscious. The story of America is America fell under the law, the natural law of judgment, where everybody hates you. Everybody fucking hates your fucking guts because you could have stopped this, you could have did this, and now they're waking up to your whole history that you were the fucking evil in World War II, raping and murdering innocent people, starving people to death in the work camps, not death camps. You lying pieces of shit. The Red Cross was there the whole time. Those were work camps for people who wanted to tear Germany down and help the entire world kill every German. And people are like, why would they even have work camps? Wait till the whole world turns on you. And you have no fucking chance but everyone to unite and try to fight off an enemy that you're outnumbered 100-1. You're never going to win. Hitler knew we'll never win because the forces arrayed against us are occult forces, hidden forces. The powers of earth, water, fire, and air are being used against Germany by the real magicians of the world, and the Christians are just have their head up their ass praying to a God that doesn't exist, a God that never saved their child, never saved their fucking grandma, never healed anything, never did anything, except in your delusional mind. And you will, if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over with the same result, America's insane. Trump's an insane clown. And, clowns suck. In every world, the circus is boring. And clowns are boring. And clowns suck. Clowns are for 2-year-olds, you stupid ass Trump. People like, man, you better cool it. They'll kick you off a duh, and they'll, look what they're doing to kneecap. Look what they're doing to kneecap. But in your town, in that day of the Golden Dawn, the nuclear attack on America from within, that's going to be from within. It's not going to be Islamic terrorists that do it, even though you're going to blame it on Islamic terrorists. It's going to be intelligence officers dressed up like Islamic terrorists, like it's always been. Like it's always been. They invented Islamic terrorism because Muslims weren't that bad because they just concentrate on their own land, their own people. It's just a complete hoax. It's a complete fucking hoax. As much as the lead hijacker had a prostitute stripper girlfriend, but he was supposed to be a devout Muslim. He's so devout he was going to give his life, right? But it was a fact that he had a stripper girlfriend up into the week before the attack. The week before the attack, he was in a strip club partying. Oh, he left a Quran. You're stupid. You believe your enemies aren't as sophisticated as you when you're a retard that's been working 8 hours a day in a fucking slave, in a mental slave, as a mental slave, in a mental system of slavery, and you think that you're as sophisticated as the people who put you in that slavery because you're truly a fucking idiot, America. Like Green Day said, he, in his own way, he said, "You are a bunch of American idiots." Who am I talking to? Mainly, I'm talking to the majority. White Christian America is the ultimate dick-sucking prostitute that would sell out everything for a good life, a nice car, and a nice family, or a nice house for their family, and then call that family values as we emotionally pour ourselves into games that are manipulated by billions of dollars of sports bets. People are like, oh, fuck, no, they wouldn't. Thousands of millions of dollars are on the line on this game. And the retards in America are like, man, it couldn't be fixed. There ain't no way this shit, man. Oh, my God, you see that game? That was fucking wild, dude. We came back. We fucking came back and won. They believe it every fucking time. Every fucking time they believe it. They believe the miracle game every fucking time. It sustains them to the next year. And then they're fucking feeling depressed because, baseball season hasn't started yet. It's almost spring training. I mean, dude, and it's not funny. I'm making fun of people in a nightmarish, delusional way because this is what paved the way for the atmosphere to be so poisoned that it's impossible to turn around. Everyone I know has lost hope on the atmosphere in America ever being turned around. And the atmosphere is we're ruled by those who love money. Trump's a fucking clown. I mean, half the people I know, they voted for Trump. I'm not kidding you. Half the people I know who voted for Trump in 2024 openly say to me, I know this is all fake and this clown is no different. I just was hoping it would be better. And yet they're too weak-willed. They're too much of pussies to do anything about it. They're just like, no, I'm just going to try to live my life and be as happy as I can and, do the things like ignore everything that they're doing. I'm just going to try to be happy, Maria Orsic will never accept that. But on that day, in your small town, your power stations will be taken out. Your internet will be taken out. In your city will be burned to the ground. There'll be riots. They'll blame it on BLM or someone who is actually, let's make it clear here, all these left-wing subversive groups are CIA. They always are. If you know anything about gathering data and removing false data, contradictions, you will know that there's never really been an anarchist movement that was given permission to burn down the country, except the ones that were completely funded and controlled by the CIA. The CIA is the military branch of the process church. And Scientology is the public look over here as we do the real magic, because we don't want to be in a spotlight, because the spotlight is for clowns like Trump. We sent this clown up there because he'll truly do anything to people. Like the crazy thing is, there was like a minuscule chance that the anti-Zionist Christians could have grabbed the Trump clown and said, hey, you got a chance to be George Washington. This is the second American Revolution. All we want is freedom. We're all agreed to put away our religious differences, our political differences. Just go back to the Constitution. We have all the evidence that the election was stolen. It was ran by intelligence officials in Germany and South America. The electronic voting machines are owned by the CIA, blah, 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 blah. Trump knew all this. And he said to Sidney Powell, the other guy, Lynn Wood, and General Flynn, General Flynn, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, and Michael Flynn all deserve respect and recognition. They will go down in history as the people that tried to save our country. And they went to Donald Trump. They said, you could be the next George Washington. And he met with the bankers, and he, as Sidney Powell said, I was never let into the White House ever again. Michael Flynn was shut out. Oh, Trump pardoned him, but never listened to another word he said, because Trump knew that the real Christians, the anti-Zionist Christians, backed Michael Flynn. General Flynn. They trusted him. I trusted him because I believed he was a good person. He would never agree to drop 2,000-pound bombs on innocent civilians who have nothing to do with anything. People who are just going to work, trying to feed their families. You truly are killing those people and torturing and tormenting those people and ruining the rest of their lives. You're doing that. And Michael Flynn, Lynn Wood, and Sidney Powell tried to take our country back, and Donald Trump rejected her. Donald Trump spit in her face. Donald Trump told her to shut the fuck up and go away, that Israel and the money says no. No, no, no. No second America. No second revolution. We are the United States of Israel, and we're going to kill because on that day, that terrorist day where your power is shut off, your internet goes down, and they say that Islamic terrorists have bombed all the power stations, bombed the Bitcoin farms, all this, and they say everything is going to be, it's going to take months for shit to come back online, and it's all the Muslims' fault, right? All the way up into the states declaring war on Islam and making these official things to arrest every Muslim and to close down every mosque, right? And have every single Muslim deported back to their countries. That's what's coming to America. And that's what we deserve, because we allowed the bankers to burn children alive just to have their land, because they want that oceanfront land. That's all it really is about for one level of people. But okay, let's end on this. As I rip the fucking headphones out of the mixer. But let's end on this for sure. In the name of Maria Orsic, when you see the Golden Dawn, the nuke, go off in America and kill, 10,000, 20,000 people at once. Say it's dropped, or detonated, let off in some major city like Houston or Miami, or, and it kills thousands of people instantly, and just, they don't even know how many people are under the rubble, and just know, when that mushroom cloud image, that Hollywood mushroom cloud image comes up out of America, that is the golden dawn of Aleister Crowley, and that the black magicians of the Process Church of Aleister Crowley, they did it, not the Muslims.